the A350F and the freighter market. Today we have with us to make the presentation Stan Sparberg, who is the head of marketing at Airbus Commercial Aircraft, and he's joined on the stage by Javier Irastosa, who is wide-body product marketing manager in Toulouse. So I'm going to hand over to Stan for his presentation, and we'll have some time afterwards, of course, for a Q&A.
Great. Thank you, Sean, and welcome everyone. First of all, let me say it's extremely exciting to have real people in the real room at the real air show. To be honest, I'm a little bit over this whole COVID situation. I was really looking forward to catch up with you. As Sean said, I'm a new Chief of Marketing at Airbus, and I'm here and very excited to present some brand new products that we have as well. And one of the newest is, of course, the Airbus A350 Freighter. That's what we're going to be discussing today. The idea to really talk to you about the motivation, what was the main opportunity that we saw, what motivated us to go into that market. Then I'll talk a little bit about the specifics of what does it take to make a great freighter. And then I'll talk about the efficiencies and the value that our freighter brings compared to the competition and compared to what our customers are looking for. So I'll start with some numbers. I know you guys love numbers. So talking about global market forecast, we estimate that the freighter market in the next 20 years would need around 2,440 new freighters, out of which the large segment, so here I'm talking about freighters of 10 ton and above, and if I talk about large freighters, that's 80 ton and above, there's 540 freighters to be added in the next 20 years. Now what's interesting to note, 230, so more than 40% of that, would come from this region, from Asia Pacific. Now that 230 will be made up of 100 freighters that would need to be replaced, and there's 130 that we see as growth opportunities in that segment alone. So it's a very, very sizable opportunity, and of course, Asia Pacific is an extremely important region for us. Then talking a little bit about the current market. So the current market is made up of 2,100 aircraft. And you can see the split between the different segments again. So large is roughly about 721 aircraft. We like to paint our friends at Boeing in the shades of gray. And as you can see, this is a very, very gray and dark slide. Obviously, no one is too happy about that. So we had a number of customers and industry players that have been asking us for a long, long time to play in that market and to participate in that market. So you can see that out of the 700 aircraft in that large frame, you have a major share is the 747 Freighter, which we are targeting, by the way, to replace with the aircraft that I'll be presenting to you today. So that would be our main, target to be replaced. Then talking about the new standard, and I have to say I'm very, very proud to work for a company that has a very, very strong sustainability vision. At Airbus, we don't just talk the talk, but we walk the talk, and we put our money where our mouth is. So, as you all aware, the ICAO standard that's coming up at the end of 2027 would basically not allow for any of the existing portfolio to be delivered based on the CO2 emissions. Now, the 350 Freighter, of course, will be adhering to all of those standards, and more so, we will be able to enter it into service well in advance in 2025. So we're taking steps ahead to really address the sustainability challenge. And of course, A350 Freighter is a very, very important part of that journey that we are taking. Now, talking a little bit about our portfolio, we have obviously a number of elements in our portfolio, which includes the P2Fs. So as you can see, we have the wide bodies that are mostly done with our partner EFW in Germany, but we're also doing the single aisle freighter conversions, which are done here with ST Aerospace. So we're very excited to have partners in the region again. And as you can see with the 321, that's already entered into service in 2020, and we're expecting the 320 P2F conversions to be starting in 2022. So again, just around the corner this year, that's what's going to be happening. Now the phase two is, of course, the new production freighters, and the one that I'm going to be talking about today is the 350. And you may have heard that we launched also freighter services with our Beluga fleet, which is another, I guess, portfolio that we've added to what we offer to the freighter community today. Now, of course, it's also important to talk about the validation. You know, I talked about the market, I talked about the customer needs that we've listened to at Airbus. That's how, by the way, we come up with products. We don't sit somewhere in the back, in the background and come up with new products. We always listen to our customers, and you can see this is a great validation by a really, diverse group of customers, including cargo operators, including leasing companies. So the top two, the CMA, CGA, and Air Lease, are confirmed PAs, firm orders. And the two at the bottom, the Air France and Singapore Airlines, are commitments that we have today. So there's 22 commitments and firm orders that we have today in our book, and we're having multiple discussions across the world with lots and lots of customers. So again, to me, that just shows that 350 Freighter is bound for success, and that's being validated by our customers. Now, talking a little bit about what does it take to make a great freighter? Well, you probably need some history, you need some experience. And at Airbus, we are not new to freight at all. We have over 400 freighters in service today. Our fleet consists of 10 freighter models, and we have 5 powered main deck cargo loading system freighters. Now, for those of you that are aware of that industry or very close to it, you know that that's a very important element. And I'll invite you to go and see our A400M out there on the static display. That's probably got the most advanced cargo loading system, which is capable of offloading up to 24 ton in flight. And that's a powered cargo loading system that we're using on that aircraft. So, of course, we have plenty of experience, and we've used all of that to come up with this brand new freighter. The next element that you need to have is a proven, strong platform. And what other platform than the future of, for me, that's the future of this industry, is this 350. It's a well-proven platform with over 900 orders to date. We have 450 in operation, or 460 that are in operation, and there's 456 that are in our backlog. So again, it's an unbeatable profit generator. It's all new design. This is one of the newest aircraft to be designed. It's not a redesign of a previous platform. And of course, it's something that our customers have been giving us a very, very good feedback on. So that's what we're using as a platform. Now, talking a little bit about the family tree, of course, 350 Freighter would be a family member of that family, of the 350 family. We have started with the 350-900. We have then gone and produced the regional version of the 900 and also the ultra long range one, which you, by the way, have on the static display here with our partners in Singapore. So I also invite you to come and visit our static display and to see this beautiful, beautiful aircraft. Of course, the next step that we took was the 350-1000, again, based on the customer feedback and demand that we've received. We've got over 60 of those flying and up to 160 of those that are on order already. And so based on that platform, we're now talking about 1000 version that's been selected by Qantas for the Project Sunrise. So that is the longest flight that would be performed by the commercial aircraft. And of course, we're also talking about the higher design weights on the 350, so increasing the takeoff weight up to 300 from 283 to 319 ton, which is a very important element when we're talking about the freighters. And of course, the Airbus new generation freighter takes advantage of all of what we've experienced with this platform, and everything that we've learned goes into this brand new freighter product. So talking a little bit about what does it take to make a freighter. So we take an A350-1000, as I said, and then we do a few things. First of all, we have to delete a couple of things. We're getting rid of all the windows. Cargo is not really keen to be looking out of the window, so we can do without that. We're also getting some frames, so we're getting about 5 frames from the 1000 off, and there's 3 reasons for why we are doing that. First of all, it's the center of gravity on ground. It's almost impossible, it's pretty much impossible to tip that aircraft because of the center of gravity that it will have. Also, the center of gravity during flight, so you don't need to have any ballasts when you're flying. It's really optimized from a center of gravity point of view, and it's also optimized for a density, because there's no point having a much bigger aircraft where you don't have the ability to add additional payload because of the limitations on weight or the payload that you can take. So the 350 Freighter would really be optimized for what's needed out there. And of course, then you add a number of things. So what do you add? Well, you add an extra large rear door main deck cargo door. You add a courier area, of course. You reinforce the floor and the fuselage. And then you do the heavy-duty powered cargo loading system that I already mentioned. And again, we will be talking about the latest generation of all of those things, which again, being a new product, being something that's designed from scratch, allows us to use the latest and greatest out there today to make it the most advanced freighter in the market. Talking a little bit about top-level features, I've mentioned some of them, but I'm going to repeat again. So all new large composite main deck cargo door. We're talking about an ability to carry, and that allows us, by the way, that first feature allows us to carry all large modern aircraft engines. Modern multifunction cargo loading system, again, that makes it much easier and improves the turnaround time, allowing our customers to make more money. I mean, it's really optimized for the needs of our customers. Now, we're talking about a 20-foot pallet and a super heavy pallet capabilities. We're talking about up to 28 ton, which again is something very important and very vital for our customers. Now, on top of that, you can do the live animal transport, and that again is being allowed by, you can be taking your horses to the race meets and things like that. What allows us to do that is the full temperature control. Something that is unique to this product is the ability to control the temperature within this aircraft between 4 degrees up to 25. You have 5 zones in the cargo area, and you have 3 zones that are dedicated to the crew. Another unique feature of Airbus and this particular family is that you've got the same type rating for 350-900, 1000, and the Freighter. So same crew, same mechanics, same spares. You don't have to have additional trainings, you don't have to do anything else. And on top of that, it only takes to convert an A380 pilot to an A350 family in 5 days of training. If you're coming from a 330 platform, it's 8 days, and a 320, it's 11 days. So it really allows that flexibility, which we all know we will need with the shortage of pilots that we are seeing coming out of this crisis. So it's a very, very, very important element for our customers. And again, I will reiterate it, this product has been designed in conjunction and listening to our customers and partners in our business. So the first ICAO compliant large freighter, low weight, latest technology, step change reductions in fuel burn and cost, a mature launch program built on a proven high technology platform, and commonality with the Airbus family. Those are the 4 main things that I'd like to leave you with. And this is the only new generation freighter out there, A350F. That's it. I think I was good on time. That's why I'm getting some nods from my colleagues here. So we would be delighted to take some of your questions. So we'll open it up. Sean, I'll ask you to lead the proceedings from here on. But thank you very much. Sure.
So thank you very much, Dan. I think it was really clear and easy to follow. Thank you. So now we're going to open up to questions. If you could just say your name and your publication before you ask your question. So let's have the first one.
Hi, good morning. Chuan from Air Transport World. I can probably do the maths, but could you give us some insights as to how many new markets can the 350F open up compared to legacy large aircraft, assuming they depart from Singapore?
So you're talking about the new markets that it would open up based on the range?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I think as I've shown you the range map out of Singapore, you can see that we are covering multiple additional destinations. Of course, currently they're covered with a stop, so you're flying with a stopover. I don't think it'll be opening up any new markets. It's just you'll be doing it more efficiently. You without a stop, without a wait. So that would be the answer if we were focusing on this regional sort of out of Singapore setup.
Thank you.
Next question.
That was very clear.
Yeah, must have been so clear then. No more?
Don't be shy.
So very happy to be welcoming on stage Mr. Goh Choon Phong, CEO of Singapore Airlines, and Christian Scherer, Chief Commercial Officer and Head of International Airbus. So to begin today, I'm going to hand over to Christian to make some opening comments.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Choon Phong, good morning, friends from Singapore Airlines. Good morning, everyone. Yes, we, Airbus, are very, very pleased to be here today, announcing finalization of agreement with Singapore Airlines for the A350 Freighter fleet. Of course, it's really your privilege, Choon Phong, to explicit exactly what we're talking about. But if you allow me, I would like to make a few remarks nonetheless. Of course, first and foremost, that Airbus is very honored to have our largest A350 operator in the world, Singapore Airlines, now set to become the first to fly the A350 Freighter in 2025. We believe that you have been proven right, Choon Phong, during the dark days of the pandemic, when the economics of the A350 have allowed you to continue flying this airplane across the world, even when carrying just cargo and very few passengers, as a testimony to its efficiency, and we're very grateful for you to demonstrate that so visibly. And now we're convinced that the A350 Freighter will match or even exceed your expectations, bringing a step change in efficiency, and I might add, sustainability of your cargo operations. Now, can you imagine a 40% plus step change in reduction in fuel burn and CO2 emissions versus the current generation of cargo airplanes flying? Choon Phong, Singapore Airlines and Airbus have a long tradition of collaboration and some very notable firsts in our industry. You were, of course, the first to fly the A380, now the A350 Freighter, and you also are operating the world's longest commercial flights, between Singapore and New York, first with the A340 and now with the 350 ultra-long range ULR. And I'm happy to say I'm just off SQ23, and I highly recommend this very unique aviation experience to everyone. We also have a partnership with you, with Singapore Airlines, on our Airbus Asia Training Center, which by now has expanded to become the world's largest A350 training center in the world, with 4 flight simulators now operating here in Singapore for flight crew training. And now we're about to redefine together the freighter market. Choon Phong, the consumer patterns have changed recently, and we believe there is a very, very substantial growth potential for cargo operations for an international star in cargo operations like yourself. So with the A350 Freighter, we believe you'll be very well positioned for this very substantial market potential in the most sustainable way, thanks also to our excellent engine partners, the Rolls-Royce Trent engines that power our A350 family of aircraft. So I'll stop here, but first and foremost, I want to say thank you. I want to say congratulations. Thank you to the teams for having made this very, very happy day happen here at the Singapore Air Show, and I'd like to hand over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, Christian. One thing about having to wear a mask is that I didn't realize that he had grown a very nice beard. The last time I saw him, he wasn't with his beard yet. Nevertheless, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to our friends, colleagues, members of the media. It is indeed a very important landmark occasion for us to sign this agreement. Our relationship with Airbus has been long-standing. In fact, we placed our first order with Airbus way back in 1979 with the A300. And thereafter, of course, there have been many Airbus aircraft types that welcome in, particularly for the SIA main fleet, the wide-body planes. We, as what Christian has mentioned earlier, we were the first to fly the A380. It is our flagship planes with, of course, the well-known suite product that we have on the plane, which I also encourage everybody to try. And we operated indeed the biggest A350 fleet in the world at the moment. We operate 58 of these planes, A350-900 planes, and we will continue to be operating with the 7 still to be delivered. We will continue to be operating the largest A350-900 fleet in the world. And with that, as what Christian has pointed out, we were able to operate the ultra-long range destinations between Singapore and New York, which is the longest flight at the moment operated by any carrier. Cargo is obviously very important. It has always been a key component of our operations. And if you were to look at what happened during the pandemic, you can see how important cargo has been, not just for an operator like Singapore Airlines, for an airline, but important to actually help in the carriage of all the important and critical medical supplies, vaccines and all that. So, and of course, it has also been important as a supplement to airline revenue. In fact, during this period, cargo has been performing very well for most carriers. We have always been looking at renewal of fleets, starting new to Singapore Airlines. This is our philosophy. So, for example, if we look at our current fleet, the group operates, the group has about 175 planes. And the average age of our fleet is about 6 years. That is very, very young, which means that we essentially have all the new technology planes. This is relative to industry average of more than 15 years. This is a significant achievement from a perspective of sustainability, because if we were to, from our experience as well, if we were to operate a newer technology plane, it could actually reduce fuel consumption by as much as 30%. And imagine how much emission you would have avoided as a result of that. And it is really, if you're talking about trying to achieve a more sustainable operations, this is really the most effective, immediate way of achieving it. And we in Singapore Airlines have always been doing so. For this particular plane, the A350 Freighter, based on our own network, and we've gone through the analysis ourselves, and what Christian said, it will reduce our emission by 40%. Again, it's a very significant reduction. And of course, in the process, because you burn less fuel, you will also achieve cost effectiveness. For all these good reasons, we have always been looking at replacing our aging freighters. In fact, the way we work with our partners is not just about looking at what's available out in the market and then choosing what is suitable for us. We have always been quite proactive in working with our partners, in this particular case, Airbus, even before the aircraft is available, to share our view about what we think the market will require and what is useful to the industry, and working with our partners to see if we can define such an aircraft. So we do have early engagement with Airbus on this. And I'm very glad that we're able to reach a stage where we're signing an agreement to indeed purchase this very advanced and very fuel-efficient aircraft with greater capabilities for us, greater flexibility for us to operate. So Christian, well done. I think Airbus have really delivered something that we've always been looking for, and we continue to want to work with Airbus in defining some of the commercial requirements as they work towards the EIS of the plane in 2025. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Mr. Go. So now it's time, the important moment, to sign the documents. So please, I invite Mr. Go and Christian to go ahead with the signing.
It shows you how classy and worthy Singapore Airlines is of the numerous awards. We have the world's most gracious flight attendants for cargo airplanes.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Singapore Airlines. Great opportunity. Maybe we'll hold up the papers first. Signing it, please. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe one with the aircraft? Would you like to? Sure.
I think we're going to get Airbus to pay us for the publicity, right?
What's more done here? Thank you. That's great. And now we're going to have a second photo opportunity.
First question, as we all know from a marketing point of view, there's definitely advantage to be first in passenger aircraft, such as 380s, of course. Are there any strategic advantage to be first to fly freighter aircraft? That's question one. And number two, are there, we know that the 350F is quite flexible, I mentioned. Are there any new markets or demands that you are pursuing upon getting this aircraft?
So we don't necessarily aim to be the first to fly. I mentioned earlier that we actually proactively work with our partners in identifying what we view as the need for not just ourselves, but even industry. And I think this new freighter is really something that that should already be considered even before the pandemic. And that's the reason why this discussion, this engagement that we have with Airbus started even before that. Because there wasn't really a viable new technology freighter available in the market, so we felt that we should actively get involved in starting the engagement and encouraging such a freighter to be available. So, of course, it so happened that we become then the first to operate. We are very privileged to do so. That would also allow us some ability to provide even more feedback to our partner from a commercial requirement perspective, what could be useful for freighters of the future. So from that perspective, yes. What will happen, whether or not we'll operate to new destinations and all that. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of how nimble cargo operation has to be. I was in charge of cargo for a period as the president of SIA Cargo. And in passenger, you can talk about projections, advanced booking, next 3 months and all that. When I was in cargo, I'm looking basically for 1 week in advance because it is just so dynamic. So I wouldn't want to say what
the possible new destination we operate to in 2025. But I would say that this plane, importantly, will give us even greater flexibility in our deployment because it is more capable in terms of range, in terms of fuel burn and all that. So from that perspective.
Are you planning to sell them or scrap them? If you can give us more details on that. Thanks.
So indeed, in our announcement, we say that this particular order is very much to also replace the aging fleet. Our 747 Freighter is now averaging about 18 years. That's quite unusual from our perspective. But like I said, there wasn't really an available alternative effective planes to replace the 747 until we had the Airbus A350 Freighter. So yes, we actually are intending to replace the current 747 Freighter fleet, but we also have the ability to grow the number of freighter because we do have 5 options that we can use. As to what happened to the freighter fleet that we're going to retire, it is whatever at a point in time the market is able to take.